She left nursing because of burnout. The stress, the pressure, the constant changes, it became too much. She felt stuck, exhausted, and knew something had to change. So she made one hardest decision of her life. She walked away. And what happened next changed everything. Watch the full story on Take Charge with Dr. Chichi. Watch now.
Welcome to Take Charge with Dr. Chichi, where nurses take control, break barriers, and build a future of financial freedom and career success. Whether you're burned out, ready to level up, or looking for the blueprint to thrive, you're in the right place. It's time to lead, grow, and win because your future starts now. Here's your host, Dr. Chichi.
Welcome to Take Charge with Dr. Chichi, where we have real conversations about burnout, resilience, and taking charge of your life. Today's episode highlights a powerful and honest story from a retired licensed practical nurse, Miss Janice Banks, who experienced burnout while navigating financial responsibilities and changing workplace demands. Her story reminds us that burnout is not always about choice. Sometimes it is shaped by life circumstances, job changes, and responsibility we cannot ignore. The theme for this episode is nurse burnout and financial stress, why we feel stuck, and how she broke free. And the goal for this episode will be to highlight real life burnout experiences, address financial pressure and burnout, and validate nurses who feel stuck, encourage reflection and empowerment. I have the honor of having Janice Banks. She's a retired licensed practical nurse, LPN, who served in healthcare with dedication. Her journey includes navigating burnout while continuing to work due to financial responsibility. A significant turning point in her career was a change in her job description, which impacted her workload and well being, and she decided to retire. Ms. Janice Banks, welcome to Take Charge with Dr. Chichi. It's good to have you here. Can you say hello to people
Well,
viewing?
hello, Dr. Yes, hello, everyone.
Welcome, Miss Janice. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to see
You
you.
finally made it, right?
Got it correct.
Yep. All right. So let's dive deep then. So, Miss Janice, can you share your journey
Okay.
as an LPN?
Well, I should say I started over 35 years ago
Okay.
in 1988.
Hmm.
That's when I began. Uh, we married to a military guy. You want to move the job when he moves. So that's what I decided to do, to go back to school, to move the job easily. And it has been a great reward to be able to do that with his job. So
Yes.
I was always finding work wherever I moved.
Yes.
And the journey began, I said, 30 some years ago. And the rewards has been amazing to be a nurse, to honor, to take care of people, respect people, and love people as a whole, no matter what. And it
Yes.
got to be great from the elderly, young, the blended men, women. You got a chance to interact with everyone. And being an LPN, you face it all. So it was great to get started, and I enjoyed it toward to the time that I decided to let go.
Wow. Prior to being an LPN, what was your career? What was it? That's LPN is your second career. What was your first career?
My college degree is in physical education,
Wow.
recreation. I was a PE teacher for parochial school, K through 8,
Wow.
back in, oh my, 1982. Wow, that's go.
That's a long time ago, huh?
Yes, it was. But moving with my husband's career, it was hard to maintain a teacher's job because he uprooted us in 18 months, two
Mhm.
years. You know, it changed, and then you could
Yeah.
never keep your foot in the door. So I decided to go to school in 1987 and got my credentials in 88, and been
And
there
then you
ever since.
discovered your
And I
passion,
the
right?
reward, right. I love
Yeah.
people. I love taking care of people and interacting ever since.
Yeah. So when did burnout begin for you?
I said 2019,
So how
way
did your
before, way
journey,
before COVID.
well, way before
Mm-hmm.
COVID?
You're right.
So how
It was
did your
before
job
COVID. Yeah.
description change and how did it affect you?
They made a decision what we can do and couldn't do. And when you hired me at a certain time, we were doing this and that. And all of a sudden, our responsibilities was taken from us. So we was
Mm,
couldn't do things. Our hands was tied and made us feel inferior. And
wow.
we were very good. We were very good. We know our job. We knew our job. We knew how to do our job, and everybody knew we knew how to do our job. We wasn't young people. We were up in age nurses as
Hmm.
LPNs, and we knew the job well. I guess with the change, who made the choices, unbeknownst to me, behind closed doors, that made us it got kind of tough, and a
Yeah.
lot of girls resigned. I
Wow.
stuck it
Wow.
out because I was 59. I stuck it out because of my age at the time, and
Uh-huh.
I and made it work, and to the point where it got heavier and heavier. The assignments, workload,
Wow.
responsibilities, repetitious, repeatedly education that was not necessary, but they kept pushing the same subject matter, but we never learned nothing because you kept talking the same stuff. And if you're going to learn something new, not
Yes.
something that you already know.
No. Yeah.
You done mastered it. How much more can you do to a situation? Okay, we're doing this. We're already doing this. We're already doing that. So why you keep talking on the same subject? I prefer to learn me something new that I
Yes.
can advance on versus
Yes.
something that we already know in years or
It
more.
must, yeah, it must really feel bad, for someone to strip your responsibilities from you. To me, that would be the hardest thing for someone to do. Knowing my
And
job
it
responsibilities and doing, yeah, and doing that, and then all of a sudden, someone pulls the carpet under my feet. It's gonna make me feel somehow too.
right. Other than offering the offer to assist for education, to continue your education, don't demand that someone needs to go back to school when they can't afford it either.
Yes.
So it's just that I felt as though once I made my mind up, I didn't need any more education. I had learned everything I had needed to learn that job, and I was
Yes.
teaching people to do the job.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I felt as though going back to school wasn't going to benefit me for credentials behind my name. I was making sufficient amount of money that satisfied me and my family, and I just became with the point of keeping that job to take care of my family, work with the changes that they decided to do, readapt and do it. Whatever you said to do, I did it. If you changed this, I did it. You said do this, I did it. Then you go back the next year and change your mind again on another
Yeah.
subject. And you got to learn that one. And then you got to learn that one. And then you go back and like, didn't we just do that? And is that the same care plan? Is that the same med setup? You just like, okay, we learned this. Now you got to go do this again. And I always thought there was three major things what we learn on my job. If I can say breastfeeding, can I
Mm-hmm.
say postpartum bleeding? Can I say hypertension?
Mm-hmm.
We learned this. We know this. Okay, how many more times you got to go through this? When you tell me about breastfeeding, the mother, I have to go blunt. Mother don't have but two breasts. What more are you going to tell me? Okay, so with a bleeder, the bleeder situations, that should be resolved before she comes up to a postpartum flow.
Yeah.
She should have been taken care of before she got to me. My job is to teach her how to care for herself going home,
And so you
not
were a
deal with that.
postpartum nurse.
Right.
Yeah.
So you turn to deal with hypertension, and as I tell anybody today, your patient got hypertension, solve it in the doctor's office while she's coming into in the hospital. Why
Mm-hmm.
you want to wait till she get in the hospital crisis?
Yeah.
So it's all about teaching, educating your patients before we got them, and we got them from all the works, different places. So it ain't like it came from one doctor's office or one doctor. It came from all these places.
Yeah.
So we needed to get an understanding, educate your patient
Yeah. You mean from the
before they
doctor's
came into the
office?
hospital. Yes,
Yeah.
brochures, you got document papers. Teach them what
Teach
you
them.
want them how to be taken care of to the office. I'm
Yeah.
a mother. I was taught my education about my hypertension before I got into the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and I was medicated before I came into the hospital with my
Mm-hmm.
hypertension. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I know
Yeah.
it could be done if I my kids in the 80s.
You know, before you came to the hospital, they educated you about hypertension or about anything that you expect while you are pregnant. So you came to the hospital
Right.
prepared. Okay.
Not being that you're gonna spike up with your hypertension and nobody don't know nothing about it.
So from what you're saying, you were a postpartum nurse, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because
So
I
you
come
took
from med surge before
oh, so
right.
you have a lot of experience in nursing, different specialties in nursing.
Sure. I did 9 years in orthopedics.
Wow, wow. So what you're advocating is
That's
educating the patients at every level, at the doctor's office, or even before they come to the hospital. And while they're at the hospital, the nurses need to educate them too, right? Yeah.
all that should be reinforced so that everything could work on the same sequence of nobody got said, I didn't know this, I didn't understand this. We should already got these people educated coming in with a
Okay.
new with having a birth, unless it's an emergency situation. But I don't know what goes in doctor's office these days. I can only tell you what happened to me in my time
Yeah. So
because I
so
was educated.
you said something about your job description changing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the change in your job description that affected you so badly?
The assignment was who's going to cover you being the LPN, and you always have to have what we would say an RN cover you. But the way they were trying to cover you was to hold you down with more responsibility of an assignment versus the person who's covering you. The person who's covering you might have only one patient to your four, and your four, three of them are priorities or heavy weight of an assignment, whether it's the baby or the mother. So I don't know to go to the details of who else on the floor, what their assignment is, and this assignment and this assignment, but I'm gonna go with what I had. I am the LPN. I come in guaranteed you gonna say I got to have four. Where that came from, where
Yeah. So in other
Mhm.
words, the job got more demanding and the workload
Mhm.
was too much. And that
Right.
burnt you
And they
out,
never
right?
and they never understand how you get your assignment, you follow someone, they don't know that this person didn't do everything that they needed to do. And I'm a believer. I'm gonna go with I got 12 hours to work. Why
Mm,
am I coming on to do somebody else 12?
got
And
you.
under me, the supervisor is aware that this person didn't do her job. And I got to not go running behind her, chasing them down, this and this. You just start taking care of the patient and getting on track.
Miss Janice, I've known you
Okay.
for so many years and I worked with you at some point and I know you do your job. And I know your patient loved you so
Yes.
much. And there's one thing about you then that we used to laugh about. I know when you walked inside the room, if your patient had a baby girl, you're gonna say, I hope you've named your daughter Janice.
Or if they hadn't picked one, I would help them pick a name. And it's always my name. I have
Yeah,
look, I even tried the boys with a J.
with a J. So
Start
I
with
know
a
you
J.
did. I know you did your job, and your patients loved you so much.
Yes.
So it wasn't the aspect of taking care of the patient that you had issue with, but it was just the workload, and there was no explanation on why the workload or the demand changed. From the people on the top.
And it was on every floor you get pulled to, assigned to. It wasn't like, oh, it's just on this area, on this area. It was everywhere you got assigned. The assignment was set up. You're gonna start off with 3 to 4, no matter what, and you're gonna have situations of the priority, maybe the word to use, but we did. Patients that you got going on. So if you got a floor of 16 patients on my list, why I got the only antibiotics, why I got the
Mm,
only phototherapy, got the only low birth weight. You see, you understand?
yes,
Or the
yes, yes.
mother who might need AccuCheck morning. That's a workload that you got to deal with. Somebody else might have a prior to hypertension. She might just be a NICU mom with no baby present.
Mm, mm,
See, so you don't get a light load
yeah,
ever. And that decision was going on from 2020 till I resigned.
yeah. Oh, you resigned or retired?
Well, that too. Both.
So
Y'all
let me.
crazy.
So when the burnout was so much, right? Just because of financial responsibilities, that kind of impacted your decision on the next step, right? What was that?
And then we went in. Remember, we went into COVID, so
Oh, yeah,
everybody
yeah,
was
yeah,
just working.
yeah,
From
yeah,
2019, we went into COVID. We just worked because the change. Everybody either was changing up, didn't work. It was just work. We just worked,
hmm,
and you did what you needed to do to get through that phase, and we did it.
yeah,
We adjusted to that change when the COVID came. Everybody was doing what they see to do, but the workload didn't cease.
yeah,
Patients still came to birth, and we still had that weight, even though we had to do the protocols of this and this and this when
yes,
it comes to COVID. So
yeah,
things changed. Patients couldn't be in the hall. Fathers couldn't be walking in the hallway. You had to reteach, teach, and everybody needed to do that together. But when you dealing with something, it got to be where you didn't want to come off like you the mean person. You trying to follow the rules the hospital set on you. Everybody was lenient. I said, no, you can't do that. You got to wear your mask. You got to put your mask on. All that kind of stuff. And you had to teach that over and over again to protect yourself and your family for 2 years.
for 2 years, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So most people
Mm-hmm.
get stuck in their job because of financial responsibility. So in your case,
Right.
was that the case? And how did that impact your
Well,
decision?
it always took two breadwinners in this house in order to make nice living
Yes.
with your home, cars, too, if you wanted to be comfortable. And I never had a problem with that. And being there at that job, I was paid comfortable to me. It
Hmm.
was very good. I make a joke. Back in 1988, I started off with $5 and some cents an hour. People don't even know
Hmm.
what that is as a nurse. See, now when I'm leaving the job, it's almost 35.
Yeah.
Blessed. So
Hmm.
I didn't complain. I got
Yeah.
paid well. It
Yeah.
wasn't about that much, but you had to work in order to be out into the economy and the world. You had
Hmm.
to have a job. Thing on my husband. We both worked.
Yes.
Mhm.
Financial responsibility kind of impacted your decision then.
Where I made a choice
Yeah.
to come off because I felt though it was comfortable enough for me to let go.
Okay, no, but before
All my kids
then,
are
of
grown.
course, you had responsibilities then.
Mhm.
And because of the responsibility, you couldn't just
Right,
take your bag and walk out. You couldn't take your bag and just walk
right.
out. Okay, so that's what I
No,
wanted. So
no.
because of those responsibilities, you had to stay in your job, right? And when it was time for you to
Right.
move, you had to move, right?
For my sanity.
For your sanity. So the next question will be, what were the emotional and physical effect on you before you decided to make that change?
Just overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed.
Um, Felt inadequate to complete my job when I'm there. Couldn't
Okay.
get off work on time. Document late and later, and that should never be for no one.
Mm-hmm.
We should have had time to document while we at a job in 12-hour setting. It always got taken from you when you have to jump up and go do something in a room, come back, try to get back on track, or you got to go do something for the newborn. You got to come back and get back on track. It kept being back and forth, back and forth. You can never get off adequately at a decent hour that you should have been getting clocking out.
Mm-hmm.
And it should never have been. If you had sufficient patient ratio, everybody should lead together,
Yes. Yes.
not we're still backtracking, charting. One person left charting. It should never be. And I never used to be that way until we changed programs at the job.
Yeah. So in other
You
words,
know,
the job responsibilities, the lack of staffing kind of
mhm.
it made the workload too much and overwhelming.
They just stopped caring.
Oh,
Somebody had to want to keep going in order to make that patient feel safe and at ease with the care that we give them.
that's
When
right.
we rush, we didn't care. That's what I never liked to run in someone's room and I didn't talk to them.
Yes.
That's how come they could tell you my name when you leave that place.
Yeah.
Because Janice done sat down, held the baby, had a conversation with him at the foot of the bed, talked to the daddy, blah, back and forth to get
That's right.
everything
That's right.
on track. But they
Yeah.
ain't calling me on the call like, because I tell them when I went in that room.
At least that makes them feel at home and feel comfortable with you when you're taking care of
Right.
them, you know.
And they what make it funnier, some label me the other Madia. The way I talk.
I know. So let me ask you,
My
what will you do?
Alabama.
Alabama accent. Wow. So what will you do differently? What will you do differently if you look back?
I would try to prefer to talk to the upper people versus the people on the floor for supervisors and management. Let me go talk to somebody else who could guide me. Maybe I'm the one could have been the problem, or someone should have told me if I'm on the right track. Who do I need to talk to? Because I
Mhm.
didn't get that opportunity while I was there.
Oh,
Who can
oh,
I talk to? Guide me through this change. Who can say this is the way it's got to be, or this is the way we done made it to be?
yeah, yeah.
And nobody gave that opportunity to really explain it. They just did it.
Wow,
Came to
wow.
work one day and that's when it got started. Even
I think.
though we
Mhm,
had sat down for a whole year, with management talking about
mhm.
what LPNs can do and can't do. Then all that disappeared completely. Nobody brought it up, never again. We just got that assignment, and that's what happened.
Maybe
Nobody explained.
if the changes came with explanation, maybe it would have been better, and not just do without any explanation.
Because see, you couldn't tell me where there was a state thing, management, your own decision, your floor decision. No one would break that down to clarify. And
Yeah.
when you asked, they said if you don't like it, to go back to school. That was their answer.
Wow, wow,
I didn't
wow.
need any more. I mean, you had already taught me everything I need to know. You
That's
kept
right.
being repetitious on your teaching
Yeah.
to me.
What advice will you give to nurses that are feeling stuck right now?
Well, I prefer them try to find out the responsibility of their job. Do you care about that job? Do you care about being a nurse? Do you respect each other and the patients? You see what I'm saying? If
Mhm.
you got that entailed in you, you can come in there and do that job. But you got to be responsible while you're there. Do your job, complete your job. Don't roll your stuff onto someone else. It has to be a little crisis for that to happen. We understand. But you should be able to have your job complete. When I come on for 7 p.m., I should be able to step right in. I shouldn't have to run in and medicate nobody for pain. Everybody pain management should be suffice when I walk through that door, not in crisis.
Mhm.
I need my medicine now. I probably got it in 7:25 or 7:35. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't put
Mhm.
someone in a predicament when they first come in. That's the first thing they got to do is go medicate them. No, you
So,
have them
mhm,
completely happy. You know, you know, pain free.
yeah. If they're going through burnout too and they're feeling stuck, what will you
Mm-hmm,
tell them?
mm-hmm.
Let's say that nurse is going through burnout, overstressed, and she's
Mm-hmm.
stuck. What will you tell that nurse?
Well, if the management or the upper hand don't want to hear it, ask them if they can speak to another profession, someone who may guide them on that issue. Because I'm not sure what jobs have that. I don't know if they have to speak to a counsel or someone to guide them. That's what we need. We need someone to help us to make the right choices before you consider yourself burnout or consider yourself you want to leave the job because you're tired of the role, the role that you're in. That over and over you getting felt as though you're being dumped on, and there
So
should
what?
be someone there to be able to speak to this.
So
You know,
if they will listen.
that's another department. Who hired you?
Okay, so what about if
Go to
who
human.
hired them? Well, what about if who hired them like you were
Mm-hmm,
stuck and you couldn't have someone that you
mm-hmm.
didn't have anyone to talk to? You that have gone through it, what will you tell them?
Well, I mean, they got to have someone that does not feel comfortable in their job to return around to. You shouldn't have to go outside and speak to a specialist like a psychiatrist or somebody like that. You got to have that on the job because that's where the problem's at. The problem's at the
Oh,
job. It's not outside you.
yeah. During your own time, did you have someone that you talked to but they didn't listen?
That's all the what you would call your supervisors, who you did the steps by, who you want to talk to. Because by the time I got to management, I was in trouble. See, yes, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you get into the management office, you're in trouble. So if your supervisor ain't helping you, you got to get in trouble in order to get to management.
No, but
You
why
can't
can't
just
you
go
go
to
to
management and think it's
management
all.
after?
I never got to that stage. I was always in trouble.
Because you were always telling the truth, right?
If I guess the point I should make is I tell it like it is. It's a good way of saying it. And if you didn't accept it, that's on you. Because I can call you out. You know you don't went in that room and you didn't get that lady no water. Now come on now. Now why do we need to say that? And the format is goes back to training, orientation. You train someone every 4 hours. I'm gonna use Foley catheters for a C-section. That's every 4 hours. Imp that. Measurements. The nurse shouldn't have to do that. The tech done went in that room to do vitals. She could imp that and tell the nurse if it's empty, didn't have enough in it, overflow. You need people to communicate. But that's a task that you can do. And another point I would like to make before I get heated, that's not 16 patients on the floor. That's C-sections. Do you understand? So it ain't like you got a bunch to do. You may have 4 C-sections on that floor versus 16. So don't make it look like you overworked. You see what I mean? That's why I never could understand how we get to that point where we can't function.
From everything that you just said, the advice I hear you give to a nurse is, if you're stuck, go talk to your supervisor. If your supervisor is not listening, find a way to get to
Right.
the person above your supervisor, right? All right, good. Thank
Right.
you.
Also, she's aware that that's an issue because some supervisor may not pass it to management that that's a problem. Okay.
But
So it's
if
like,
you've talked to a supervisor and the supervisor is not helping you, now you can go to the next in the chain of command,
yeah,
right?
right. That's what
Yeah.
we need. And if that's not satisfied to you, that's when I
Go
say
to
you go
human
up to another.
resources. Yeah.
Because
So
you got to
follow
get
the
someone.
follow the chain of command and go from your
Right.
supervisor. If your supervisor is not listening, go to the person above her, and then go to the person above your manager if they're not listening. That's the point that you're trying to make. And then also, I guess from what you said too, they should do their job. Do
Right.
their
And
job,
why
plan
we
themselves and do their job.
right, we shouldn't have to come and tell nobody to pass water. That's a given. You shouldn't
Yeah.
have to come and tell people their needs. That's a given. I shouldn't have to even form that in my mouth. You thinking like me, walk in there. She needs stuff. Give it, offer it to her, help her. Okay. Now, if I come in behind you and you've been in here and you didn't even try to offer that, let alone remove the food tray. Now, I'm walking out the hall, walking out with the food tray. See, that's the thing that we don't have. The person who's supposed to be getting assisting us is just ain't assisting. They think it's vital signs only, and that's it. That's more to nursing than that. You
Yeah.
can assist where we need it at, so all us can leave at the same time. But if you're only gonna do one thing the whole time, the nurse is doing 10 things
All right.
versus your, and that's not fair.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Miss Banks,
Uh-huh.
what does taking charge mean now? Now that you're retired, what does taking charge mean now? I know taking charge for you then was that you retired because you had it. Now,
Uh-huh.
what does taking charge mean now?
Relaxation.
And you don't have to be bothered about anything.
Well, I'm not out talked out anymore. My mouth ain't tired. How about that? My feet ain't swollen because you're up and down. But I have more peace and
That's right.
stress free. Put
That's
it
right.
that way.
That's right.
And less responsibility when I'm home.
Yes.
I
Yes.
take care of me and my husband.
That's right. That's right.
That's
That's right.
that's
That's
enough.
good. So you
Now,
you took charge, and you took charge indeed.
right. Well, I
That's
can
right.
enjoy. Listen, I can actually enjoy my home for once. I wasn't able. I was working. Right.
Mm-hmm. All right, Miss Banks, it's time for rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Let me see if I can handle those one answers because I'm
Okay,
long
good.
winded.
All right. So, one word to describe your journey. One word.
Amazing,
Amazing, right?
amazing.
Amazing. Good. So, tea, coffee, or smoothie?
Smoothie. Hmm.
All right. So, a quote that motivates you.
Don't let anyone steal your joy.
Don't let anyone steal your joy. I like that. A proud moment in your career.
I must say, a patient and the husband, they hugged my neck because I was able to feed their baby, and they was not
Oh,
thought that nobody was helping them,
wow.
and the baby had a high palate, up there. Nobody
Yeah,
was
yeah.
catching that right,
Wow,
and they were
wow.
just so happy, And I still remember they were
All
they
right.
were in disguise because they opened up their doors and let me in without an
Yes.
issue.
Okay,
Not
good.
you don't get that. You don't get that often.
Yes. So, what is the biggest lesson burnout taught you?
Try to be patient.
Try to be patient. Yeah, because if you weren't patient, you wouldn't have gotten to the retirement age for you to retire.
You'll
So,
be constantly bickering every time you show up to work.
yeah, be patient. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Miss Banks, you're an amazing lady. I really appreciate you for coming.
Me, I laughed all the time. We joked all the time.
Yeah.
And if you got laughter on any subject matter, you're winning.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's right.
that's why when someone take that joy out of that job, they stealing
Mhm.
you away, because you enjoyed the job. The job was amazing. The career was amazing. I was
Mhm.
happy with my job all the time, driving to it, to and from, enjoyed it. Even though,
Mhm.
we didn't live around the corner, we was 45 minutes to the hour from the job,
And then
you
when
know?
there's traffic, it's more than 45
Yeah.
minutes, right?
Trying to get there. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, Miss Banks. So it's time for reflection prompt. So the question you have to ask yourself at this point, or anyone listening, is: am I staying in a burnout because I feel I have no choice? What small steps can I take today? And what is my body telling me? So we got to listen to our bodies. What
Mhm.
is your body telling you? And then for
Well,
financial reflection,
uh-huh.
what I want to say is: how does money affect my choices? How does money affect my choices? And that will be for a financial reflection. Or what can I do to reduce financial stress? And what is my long term plan? So if this story resonated with you, I want you to know that you're not alone. Burnout is real, but so is your breakthrough.
Mhm.
On this channel, we have real conversations that help nurses and healthcare professionals heal, grow, and take charge of their lives. So go ahead and subscribe because your next level starts here. So if this episode helped you, I want you to type on the comment: I choose to take charge. I choose to take charge. So burnout is not a weakness, I want to tell you all. It is a signal. You deserve peace, clarity, and choice. And then remember, you are not defined by burnout. You have the
Right.
power to take charge. You have the power to take charge. Let me pause right here because I have something very special for you. Have you been feeling overwhelmed, constantly tired, giving so much to everyone else, but you have nothing left for yourself? Then this is for you. This is not just another event. This is your moment to pause, your opportunity to heal, your chance to reset, and your decision to rise. I am personally inviting you to a transformational experience: burnout to breakthrough, pause, heal, reset, rise seminar. Join me live in Duluth, Georgia. Holiday in Atlanta, Gals South Arena, 6310 Sugarloaf Parkway, Duluth, Georgia, 30097. on May 2nd, 2026. The seminar starts at 10 a.m. Registration and networking begins at 9 a.m. So reserve your seat at www.sparklingstar.org, www.sparklingstar.org. If you want to be a vendor for the event, also go to www.sparklingstar.org and click on the vendor tab to save your spot. This is not a sit and listen event. You will learn how to identify and overcome burnout, gain practical tools for your next level, connect with powerful, purpose-driven people, live with clarity and renewed energy. Let me tell you, we've made this experience even more special. Lunch will be provided. You will be eligible for a giveaway draw, and then make it a friend's educational outing. Register 5 people and 6% attends free. So listen, seats are limited. Don't want you watching this later wishing you had been there. So here is what I want you to do right now. Click on the link below on the description section, secure your seat, and make decision for you. Don't delay it. Don't overthink it. It's your moment. It's time to take charge, heal, reset, rise, and I'll see you there. So bye for now.
Take Charge with Dr. Chichi is a brand of Sparkling Star Development Strategies LLC. The information provided is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or medical advice. Financial services are offered independently by Dr. Chichi in accordance with applicable licensing and regulatory standards. Thank you for watching.